And we are live. And Kane Williams is coming to us from the future. It's Sunday morning. Good morning, Kane. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Mike. Hey, Ro.
Hey, how are you?
Good. They're coming from the future is oddly fitting. I mean, my book has the past, present, and the future. There's a seer, so I like this coming from the future. It's very fitting.
So we were just talking before we came live. This is a standalone book, but it's not necessarily the last you'll hear of these characters, correct?
Maybe not. Yeah, I might return to the world or the characters. But yes, intended as a standalone read.
And show us the cover again and tell us what the name is.
Love to. Perils of the Past.
Okay.
And it came out, it's Sunday here, and it came out Friday my time, but I think that's just yesterday for you guys.
Yep. Nice. And I checked, I'm doing my best Row impersonation, and I checked, and you have, I think, 15 reviews on Goodreads already? 17 reviews.
I thought this was a book launch.
It's just come out, but I had some amazing ARC readers, and they were really generous.
Yeah,
Shane's here.
Man, that's awesome.
And
how you doing? Mike is already, like, in the first minute, Mike was like, name of the book, blah, blah, blah. He was like right on it tonight. I don't know.
I know, because now we're going to go on tangents and not talk about it till 58 minutes in.
We'll talk about it.
Kane,
what do you do to afford that wall behind you? What's your if that's your first book? I'm assuming that's not paying the rent yet.
No, it's not paying the rent. We'll see. Like, I'm very open to that. But I work at a local university, the University of Sydney. I may as well name it. I'm in Sydney, Australia. So yeah, work at the University of Sydney, and I facilitate the research contracts. So obviously I love playing with words, and I looked for a profession that would support that love of playing with words. And so, yeah, I draft contracts and facilitate mainly clinical trials. So,
all right, okay.
I like Mike. You're a chemist, right?
I am.
I thought so. So yeah, I did a science degree and a law degree, and I combine those by drafting research contracts for clinical trials. So, for example, a new anti-cancer study.
I'm glad somebody's still doing cancer research.
Yes.
That's good that you guys are.
And Shane loves contracts.
Yeah, I love Shane's comments. Yeah, the pros in contracts is no. Just no.
It's pretty ugly, but
it is.
I mean, if you have a law degree,
I don't know if we're about to start a battle here. I would say that the US contracts are actually worse than our contracts in Australia.
I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, I was on a panel once with a woman, and she was a mystery writer, and she worked for the IRS. So, our tax people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All of her books were featured in the IRS, and she goes, and no one wanted to buy a book where everything took place in the IRS. We're like, shocking.
Shock horror, that one, yeah.
So she figured it out after 4 books, and then she decided to move them outside of the building. So hey, there's always that.
Did it help her sales?
Oh, I don't know. She was 75, and she said she had to keep looking at young men's bodies for research, and I just like creeped out. I'm like, okay, that's enough. I'm done listening.
Thank you, Grandma. Appreciate it.
Put your teeth back in.
So how did you start writing fantasy then, Kane?
I've loved fantasy since I was 5, 6, 3. I don't know. Like, before I can, as my earliest memory is, parents reading me those types of novels. I was in primary school. I vividly recall standing before the bookshelves and trying to decide if I would reread The Hobbit for like the 7th time, or if I would reread Ice Station by Matthew Riley. He's an Australian thriller author, and like you read his books, and it's like 3 Die Hard movies crammed into one book. That's kind of how I would describe it. And so yeah, that's grade 5 Kane. That was what he was reading, and part of that certainly made it into Perils.
I was going to say, I read some of your reviews, and I was going to say you were influenced by him, based on your reviews.
I was, yeah.
So I like a book that just starts off and just runs and doesn't stop. So
yeah,
as long as it's less than 500 pages.
Exactly. Yes.
424.
Okay. Good.
You're in there.
That is an appropriate answer.
So I guess I have to ask you this, even though being in Sydney put you about as close to New Zealand as you can possibly be without being in New Zealand or wet. Have you been to the Shire?
So I've been to New Zealand twice, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't made it to the Shire yet. It's lined up for trip number 3.
Why else would you go to New Zealand?
Milford Sounds.
Sheep farming or something? I mean, you went over there twice. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Do they have weirder animals than Australia does?
Nobody has weird.
No, we've like there's a you're probably familiar. There's a large battle between Australia and New Zealand on a number of fronts, right?
Yeah.
And we've got them hands down on the animals. I'm sorry, we've got them hands down on the weird and dangerous animals.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm eating.
Okay. So
I meant to finish it before, but
that's okay. I'll ask a book question or two.
Okay, go ahead. I'll finish this.
So, tell us about your main character or characters.
Yes. So follows 3 points of view characters, and Tana on the wall behind me, featured on the cover. She's our main protagonist. She has about half the book, so half the book is hers. She starts off high in a mountain temple. In fact, the picture on the cover is from chapter 1. So her sword, that cave, she enters that cave in chapter 1. And this is a world unique but somewhat familiar, but it's unique. It's not Earth-like. We're high fantasy, we're epic fantasy. There are most of the creatures you've never heard of before. There's no horses, there's no, name insert here. And she starts off high on this mountain, and some very unfortunate events happen, and she ends up going on a desperate journey to find a cure to save those she cares most about. And then, so that's Antana. Kel, I mentioned before, a seer. We've got Kel, our seer. And then the last character, Xanth, is a mage. And the 3 of those, they take some working out as to whose side they're on, and there's they get embroiled into some mysteries that they need to solve.
Okay, so I'm going to ask ahead of time to forgive me for this question.
Sure.
But the visual just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Do you have people riding kangaroos in your story?
There are no horses and there are no kangaroos. There's no kangaroos.
See, my brain went there, and then immediately I thought, well, that's what tauntauns are in the Star Wars film, is basically glorified kangaroos.
Yeah.
So,
well, I need to go out later today, and my choices are I can drive my car, I can catch a train, or I can ride a kangaroo, and I'm not sure which one I'll pick. Okay.
So I want a book now where the mode of transportation is the kangaroo.
I don't know about a whole book, but I might let that stew into a short story for you.
I was going to say, or micro fiction or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Flash fiction, micro fiction, short story. Yeah, I'm up for it, Mac.
Okay. And I just signed up for your newsletter, so I will know when you do it.
Okay. Hold me account.
So how long did it take to write this book?
So it took 2 years to pen the first draft,
Okay.
and I see writers, and I don't want to compare myself to others. I see writers on Twitter like, I just smashed out 8,000 words today. I was like, I have no idea how you.
Yeah, I see that. I'm like, I hate you. Who are you again? Yeah.
3,000 is a really good day.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Oh, like I don't even know if I've got that in a day. So yeah, 2 years to pen the first draft, and then 2 years to probably another 11 drafts. Not obviously full rewrites, but yes, kind of drafts and redrafts and redrafts of redrafts into.
You're not going to do that for your next book, are you?
I hope not. I hope look. We'll see. We'll see if this pans true. I hope that obviously I've learned a lot, and I've certainly found that when I look at the chapters I first wrote and when I look at the chapters that I wrote towards the end, that I felt a much more comfortable, accomplished writer to a degree. But I don't know, Mike, you've got 4 or 5 books under you.
5, and Ro has 9.
9. And so how have you found that? Have you found that growth trajectory, or is it, what does it look like?
I mean, I can tell you for me, it took me about 2 years for my first book. It took me a year for my second book. It took me 6 months for my third, and it took me 15 months for my fourth. And then it took me a year for the fifth. So I'm all over the place.
I was going to say that the start there is a clear pattern, and then I don't know what happens in the end.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do 4 books in the same series, and that fourth book just took forever because I was burned out and I kept trying to force it. So, and now it's been a year since I've published, and I'm coming out with a novella. So, I'm all over the place. Let's see. So what are you going to write next? If this is a standalone, are you going to stay in this universe, or are you going something totally different?
So this book was quite ambitious with a number of different elements that I was playing with. The next one's even more ambitious. It's set in a completely different universe. I'm even playing with it being across 2 worlds.
Okay.
With a character on each. But yeah, look, it's all been a bit of a blur the last kind of 6 months in the publishing side. So I'll get a little bit clean air, and I'll return back to that one. I've just got some notes sketched on a pad.
So are you aware that most of writing is actually marketing your books?
I hear that.
So yeah, because I'm always like, God, as soon as I publish this book, I can get back to writing, and I'm like, no.
Okay, well, you guys have been chatting.
Yes,
I've been doing research, because this is the way we roll here on this show.
We don't do it ahead of time.
And as you're from Oz, we have to ask you some Oz-related questions that I'm sure everybody is dying to know that have nothing, I'm afraid, to do with your book.
Okay, I'm nervous, but bring it on.
Exactly how many things are there in that country that can kill you?
Over 100.
Okay. Who has a higher life expectancy, Australians or Americans?
Good question. I would guess Australians.
If anybody in the chat wants to guess, throw up your guess. Don't Google it.
Yes, Australia.
Let's see if anybody's going to put anything up there. I'll come back to you with that. How many animal-related deaths would you say there are in Australia each year?
Let's go with 30, but few. There are
34. Yeah,
ooh, okay.
you nailed that.
Yeah, there's a couple of shark attacks, and I don't know when
You know what animal is the biggest offender?
It's a kangaroo.
J.A. Braden, everything wants to kill you in Oz, not everything. What is the biggest offender? So I would think that it would be something like a car crash, like that jumps out on the side of the road type one. So maybe like a kangaroo or a wombat.
Kangaroo versus car is number 2.
Ooh, okay. What's
Horses.
number 1?
People falling off horses.
That's certainly not unique to Australia, but okay.
But in
that makes sense.
Australia, that's the big one. Number 3 is dog attacks.
The dingo
So-
ate your baby.
What's that?
The dingo ate your baby.
That's right. A dingo ate my baby. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. We apologize.
Okay. How many people have died from spider bites in Australia?
Per year.
Well, I just put it in there. It gave me over the last 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, they've been doing a study or something.
well,
So
They've got antidotes for most, and a number of the spiders can't pierce your skin. They're more interested in killing insects. If you get bit by one with large enough, not really jaws, but large enough mouths in the bush, you're in a lot more trouble. So let's go with 5 a year times 12, so 60?
0.
0.
In 12 years, not one person in Australia has died from a spider bite. Wow.
We can turn this into an ad for Australia, people. Come to
There you
Australia,
go.
there's nothing to be afraid of.
In the
Like-
United States, just under 3 people a year die from spider bites. So, how about jellyfish? We always hear about jellyfish.
The
We
number
do?
of people that died or the number of people that got stung?
Died.
0.
Since 1883, in Australia, 70 people have died from jellyfish.
Okay, we went back a little longer than 12 years there.
Well,
So,
Google gave me, man. They gave me.
okay, I will not trust the Google gods.
And last one, snakes. How many people die from this? Is per year?
Per year, 3.
2 to 3. Yeah.
2 to 3.
In the United
Again,
States,
kind of, it's only if you get bit in a really remote area,
right?
and the
'cause
snakes are more scared of you than
Yep.
us of them.
And in the U.S., it's 5. And anybody who said Australians live longer than Americans, they do so by nearly 6 years.
Mm.
So I guess all that shit that's out to kill you isn't doing its job after all. And maybe it's not the worry that we all think it is. Just like,
Love it, bro.
when Mike and I were young, it was all about quicksand and, everything else. And that's never proved to be an issue. So,
Oh, and the drugs in your Halloween candy. Don't forget that.
oh, that's right. Yeah. The razor blades.
Not a single person has ever had that happen to them, but boy, has it been around for 40 years.
Shane asks, how many people quote Crocodile Dundee per year?
A lot. If you're in a pub, a lot.
Oh man! All right. What is this? What are people putting up here?
Daycare center sand pit.
That question's for you, Kane.
Oh wow. They found them before they hatched, so that's
Right. If they're their eggs, it's fine.
exactly.
Less dogs around,
Oh, Dan's being mean.
He's my younger brother. He's striving for attention. That's what they do.
I have one too.
So with your book, what are you just only doing it on Amazon? Or are you trying to take it out places along the coast there and get it into people's hands? How are you approaching that?
It's a hard decision. I know I kind of put some thought into which way I take it. The ebook at the moment, at least for the next, you're kind of locked into 90 days. The ebook's exclusive to Amazon, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. But the paperback and the hardcover are published wide. So I went with Ingram Sparks for those, and they've made it into, obviously a number of the online bookstores. And this week it is coming to a local bookstore in Sydney.
Nice.
You get the local paper out there, do a little story on you and all that.
I have not yet. But maybe it could be worth it.
If you don't mind, talking to the newspaper and getting your picture taken. So if you're gone wide right away, what kind of response have you seen on things like Kobo and some of those other things that we just aren't very familiar with? I know the Canadians are very familiar with Kobo. But.
Yeah, so the ebook's exclusive. It's on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. The ebook is I've gone wide with the paperback and the hardcover. But yes, there was a friend that reads it on a different one, and they were sending me some messages. So yeah, it's difficult with the ebook. Like I'd love to go wide, and maybe I will in 90 or 180 days or something. But Mike's saying no. I will trust Mike. I will not do that.
Well, I don't know if I'd trust Mike.
So I went wide January 20th this year.
This year, okay.
And there have been 91 sales, which would be phenomenal, except for I think about 70 of those when I marked them to free. Actually, more, probably 80 have been marked to free. So I got about a dozen so far this year that I've actually sold. So yeah,
I've discovered a way around that, Michael. Stop making your books free.
Absolutely not. That's the best way to
giving away your work.
That's the best way to get your name out there. Rowan,
is it though?
I will tell you, I've talked to people and they said if you're going to go wide, you have to give it at least 6 months before, because you're an absolute newbie and no one knows you. So it's like, I mean, for me, it's like being a first-time author all over again, because no one knows me on Kobo or Apple Books or any of that. And then they also said you need to advertise, which I do not do. So I'm sitting at one sale this month, going wide, but I didn't get that many on Amazon ebooks either because I don't advertise. So I don't sweat it. It's not enough it's a rounding error. So.
Well, like talking about going for free, I understand that you made a pact, was it last week, Mike, about your next one with a certain Nicholas Fuller?
With Nick, yeah. I don't know if we're going to follow through on that because I don't really like that launch.
Do tell.
So Nicholas, I mean, I hope it works for him. It doesn't sound like it's going to me, but then I got caught up in the moment and said, I'll do it too. He is going to do his cover reveal on the day that his book launches, and he's setting his book to free for 5 days, hoping that generates buzz and gets it in everyone's Kindle.
And Mike told the world that he would follow suit and that they would do a competition where
the world is
the most sales.
It was only Bald&Balding. It was not the world.
So if it's a competition, it means there's a winner and a loser. What does the winner get or what does the loser not get?
Respect.
Well, there is no way you're getting that. So really, what's the bet?
No, that was just he said it, and I got caught in the moment. Was like, my book's coming out about that time. We can do it together. So now I have to make sure my book doesn't come out. So I have to make sure my editor sandbags. Takes a long time or something.
It sounded more like a blood pact to me, Mike. It sounded like you two are tied at the hip until that happens.
Well, according to Tobias, Will Wright did that. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand why, especially for your first book, you would want to give it away. I don't know, though. I think we've kind of, as a community, we're kind of screwing ourselves doing that because so many people just are there for the free books and they know they can get free books. So why would they ever spend a dime on a book?
So I look at it as if you get my book for free and then you never read it, what am I out? Not a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
If you get my book and you read it, then I want you to read book 2. So I've decided I'm not going to put books 2, 3, 4, whatever in the series on sale. If you want to read more, you have to buy it at some point.
All right.
But the first book,
you're approaching it like a drug dealer.
So yeah, it's a lost leader. I think grocery store. You say drug dealer. To each their own.
I'll give you a little taste now, but if you want any more, you got to come with the money.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Kane, what about you? What is your strategy?
Yeah, so this week the talking in USD, the ebook's 99 cents. So that was my I was playing with free, I was playing with the full price, which will probably be $4.79, and yeah, launch week. I like the idea, like Euro. I think there's something about someone even committing like 99 cents, right? I like that idea of the little bit of commitment. I think you may weed out some of the people that are just like, I'll get around to it one day, but they do that every week or they do that every month. There's certainly a lot of people that pick up a free book, read it, review it, go on to the series. This one is a standalone to me.
Yeah.
I thought, look, let's start strong. Let's attract the right kind of audience, and yeah, let's make it on special for this week.
I mean, don't take market advice from me. For God's sakes, don't do that. I'm horrible at it.
So
I understand, you know, why people do it and all that. I'm not convinced it's smart. Well, what the hell do I know? I don't sell any books, so.
So let's see. On that note, Kane, do you have a preferred method for slaying dragons?
Do I have a preferred method for slaying dragons? So there's a couple of ways to answer that one. If I had to slay the dragon, I'd probably want to do it from a distance. I'm like, we're talking large claws, probably fiery breath, unless it's sort of like an ice dragon. Talking that tail, so I'd probably think a poisoned arrow to the eye if I had to slay it. But I would prefer to ride the dragon and to bring the dragon onto my side, ideally convincing it from a distance. But there we go. I'm either poisoned arrow to the eye or far from a distance.
Okay, well, I'm going to get this out of the way then, because I know which way you're going to go.
Yep.
So you've heard the question, I'm sure. Would you rather ride the Griffin or the T-Rex?
I have heard this question. Okay, a couple of things before I get to the answer that I know will.
Answer.
It's a polarizing question, guys. This is very important.
It's not polarizing at all. It'd be polarizing if the numbers were even close.
Okay. So, firstly, I'm a dinosaur fan, and there are, when I was designing the unique creatures in my book, there are a number of them inspired by dinosaurs, and then Tana has to go into battle with thick-scaled tooth, claw, all the rest. So dinosaur fan, T-Rex is amazing, Jurassic Park is awesome. On the other hand, when I was growing up, my favorite animals were a black panther, a snow leopard, as in big cats, right? And an eagle. And we have AFL here, our version of footy, very different from your version of footy. Yep. And I barracked, my whole family supports one team, and I barracked for the Eagles, which are on the other side of Australia, just in primary school, on the other side of Australia, because I loved the eagle. And so I think you might be able to see where we're going with that, but I'll press pause. So I was thinking about, there's a few different things. If you put up a T-Rex against a griffin, let's think about like which one has better breath. I'm like the griffin's going to win that one, right? Which one takes better care of itself? Like the T-Rex arms are no good for looking after its body, right? And so I think the griffin's going to have better hygiene. The griffin's going to have better breath. We're going down a main street here. I know, Mike, you like to stomp and destroy. That sounds like a lot of paperwork, and it sounds like some people that some deaths I don't want on my hands here. So I'm choosing the griffin. I know.
Griffin hygiene is not somewhere I thought this show would ever take us. Thank you for that.
Pleasure, pleasure.
I mean, honestly, right? If they were going to go one-on-one, all a griffin would have to do is fly up behind the back of a T-Rex's head, and then just poke out its tiny little nut-sized brain. And like not like the dinosaur is going to be able to do anything about it. So
there were a couple of other factors too. One would be if either of them got hungry. I'm fairly sure that the T-Rex is going to eat me first, right?
It's fair.
You only have to outrun Mike. You don't got to be the fastest guy in the room. You just got to be faster than Mike.
Oh no, I'll just freeze so it can't see me because clearly Jurassic Park got all the science right. Okay, I have some more silly questions for you.
Are any of them at all related to his book in any way, shape, or form?
No, we don't do
that. Why we're here? Is that why I'm here?
If I were you, I'd just keep holding your cover up.
Every time
I will take advice from Ro.
Every time we ask you something that's not applicable, just put the book up so that people know. So, what's the weirdest job or task that you've ever had to do?
Be on this show.
The weirdest job or task. The weirdest job or task. Weirdest job.
Did you ever find yourself so low after school, that while you're in college or something, having to pay the bills that you decided, I'll jump out of a cake, whatever, something like that.
I have not jumped out of a cake. Look, I guess it depends on the age range of this audience. They're no longer around, but I used to work in a video store, and so for anyone under kind of 25, I don't even know if they'll understand that concept.
Well, they might understand the concept because they've heard of them, but we're with you. We're tracking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that doesn't sound weird really to me, but we're old. Yeah. Now if you,
that it was there more to the story?
I haven't really got weird jobs. Like I soccer refed, as in I refereed soccer. I stacked shelves at Coles, which is just an Australian supermarket. I tutored.
Well, I'm glad you're getting to write fantasy now. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, so what team is it that the rest of your family likes?
Oh, I'm about to polarize. I think we're about to lose all of our Australian viewers, other than those that support this one team. It's very, it's not a well-liked team. I don't know how to equate that to the teams over there, but the rest of the family supports Collingwood, which is represented by a magpie. They go by the pies, and it's not a well-liked team.
So are you getting a bunch of stuff over there for because AFC Wrexham is going to go to Australia and play next month. I think they're playing a team in Sydney and one other team over there. I forget the name of the teams. Sorry. Anybody going to that? You're not going to go check that out?
I feel like I'm so behind on sports news, world news. I'm recently back from Japan, and so I'm playing. I've been back 1 week, and that's the launch week. I'm playing in catch up on pretty much everything. So no idea, Zara.
Okay, what do you do in Japan?
So I went with my brother, his wife, and my wife. And my brother lives in Germany, has for 4 or 5 years now. And so I don't see him very much. And we met not in the middle, but we met in a country that neither of us had been to. And my brother is very adventurous. And so to that kind of angle, we climbed a snow-covered volcano. And then my wife prefers the more kind of dining, history, exploring type. So we fitted in a number of cities. Kanazara was stunning. So it was a little bit. It was a real mixed bag between doing some adventurous activities and the food, the culture, the history. It was awesome.
Yeah, nice. Ever been to Japan, Mike?
I have not.
No.
Have you?
No.
Oh, come on. You've been to like 30 countries.
Europe mostly, but not Japan. I haven't been to Asia.
Mike, you might need to expand your retirement plans. You were talking about conventions and
Yeah.
the like, but you might need to
tracking eclipses and all that.
Yeah. So, Kane, maybe I'll just have a bunch of books printed and shipped to your house, and then I'll fly to Australia and I'll pick them up and go to a Comic-Con.
Love it. Let's do it.
Because you've got several big cities right down there on the southeastern coast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So almost all of our cities are along that eastern coast. So Sydney, just below that, kind of Melbourne, they're the two largest. And yeah, you've got Brisbane and Queensland up there, and there's only Perth on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to get from Melbourne to Sydney, or vice versa?
Just like an hour 10 flight. It's really easy.
Oh, you don't drive? You fly?
I have driven it three times. It's a lot of driving.
That's what I thought, because Australia is very big.
How much driving could it be if it's an hour-long flight?
Chuck, where's the research, bro? Where's the research on the go, right? This is research on the go. Melbourne to Sydney. Man. Melbourne to Sydney in Google Maps.
Okay, while he's doing that.
Holy shit. All right. Disregard. You said they were close together. It's like freaking 9 hours.
It's a lot more if you try to go Melbourne to, say, Brisbane or Sydney to Brisbane, all up that east coast.
Okay.
I mean, that's doable. That's when I drive to Cincinnati, it's about the same length of time. So
yeah.
8 hours.
Yeah, no, it's certainly doable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a third of the day.
What?
It's only a third of the day, that's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I drive to Vermont and it's like 11 or 12. So.
But how much is petrol down there, Kane? That'll be the thing that kills you.
Oh, your US dollar does really well, so I would not be worried. The Aussie dollar is pretty weak, so you'll be fine.
Okay, so my next question for you.
Nice.
It's a two-parter. So first one is, three-parter, I guess. What is your favorite holiday and why? And then how would the presence of your main character, and let's say go with Antana, change your favorite holiday if she were there?
Oh, God. Oh, Nico's here. Favorite holiday and why? Favorite holiday and why? I feel like whichever way I answer that, I'm going to disappoint someone. So I'm thinking about like holidays with like a really close group of friends in Europe, right? For a very milestone, big celebration. I'm thinking about holidays with my parents, my brother, like everyone like close together. I'm thinking about like the honeymoon with my wife. And then I'm thinking about like Japan. I'm going to go with Japan. It is the freshest in my mind. And it was brilliant, especially to see my brother after so long. So we'll go with Japan. That's a part one. Part two, how would the presence of Antana...
Wait. Wasn't that a holiday question? What did I miss there?
So, yeah, I meant holiday as in like a day, like Christmas or something like that. But what you think of holiday, we would call a vacation.
Yeah, not a vacation. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Those two words mean the same thing here.
Our bad. We didn't get the English to close to English dictionary.
So wait, we're talking. What is what was the favorite public holiday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The favorite public holiday has to be Christmas. Like you get the longest period off, and there's something really nostalgic about it. I think there's all of the hype from being a small kid and opening the presents and the tree and the tradition. So we'll go with Christmas. And how would the presence of Antana... So is she with the family at Christmas?
Yes.
Oh my God. So
what are you thinking about that in the back of your head? You get Christmas in summer though.
We do. You guys are freezing. We're just going into winter now. You're just going into summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
we're just going
does
into
that
winter
change
now.
the Christmas vibe though? If like everybody's wearing, Tommy Bahamas and stuff.
Yeah, thongs, shorts, t-shirts. The thongs is in flip-flops, as in sandals.
That sounds wonderful. I
Yes.
hate cold.
Okay, so Howard and Tana at Christmas. I'm just picturing she's not very good at taking it easy. She's not very good at downtime. She's very kind of focused and determined.
So I'm going to say that your brother is present, since he likes to do adventurous things.
Yeah.
So he's there along with Antana. What are they going to end up doing?
Well, we're clearly like climbing a mountain, right? She's on the top of a mountain here. We just climbed a snow-capped volcano in Japan. We're finding the tallest mountain we can, and we're going on a long hike. Maybe we're going to the Blue Mountains. Like if we're in Sydney, we're heading over to the Blue Mountains, and we're going on a hike.
Okay, and do you have an opinion on Nico's take here that turkey is superior to ham?
Turkey versus ham.
Turkey versus ham.
So I have to say I agree with Nico.
I don't think I do.
We'll go with this. I think ham is a staple, but I'll go with turkey.
There's only like a couple of ways to do turkey, right? And a lot of people do it badly, regardless.
That is true.
But ham, you can do ham a lot of different ways, and the leftover, turkey leftovers are terrific. Don't get me wrong, but I'll take ham.
See, I would take turkey over bacon. I know that's controversial, but
what you what?
Mike, I think you just lost 5 subscribers.
Oh, the list of things you take over bacon is absurdly small, and turkey is not on that list.
What is on that list? What is on that list? We're putting the spotlight on you here.
Ice cream might be really close.
ice cream, yeah. Donuts.
Okay.
Not donuts.
mean-
it would take me a while to think of something else. But
Ro is probably putting maple syrup on his bacon, so
oh, dude, that's nice. Yeah.
Maple bacon.
No, bacon should not be a candy.
I'm with you there.
Bacon could be anything it damn well pleases. And having said that, bacon ice cream is kind of gross.
Bro, I feel like there's so many marketing opportunities for you. I feel like you could sell Australia without the dangerous creatures. You're just doing food ads now. Anyway, if you're interested.
I'll take any job anybody offers at this point. Let's see. I did eat a bacon sundae. It wasn't terrible. Well, a sundae. Okay, you've added chocolate sauce to the mix now. I'm just saying. I'm talking bacon ice cream. Where bacon is an integral part of the ice cream. It's just not what you're hoping for, right?
I'm sorry. Bacon and chocolate sauce is going to make me throw up. I'm sorry.
No, that's probably not a good combo. Separately, however, they are delicious.
So
Very
my
good.
brother must not be still here, or else he would mention to everyone that normally if I have bacon, I buy turkey bacon.
Oh my god. Do you drink non-alcoholic beer?
I do not. I don't drink beer hardly ever. So,
Yeah, Nico, this was all your fault, man. And yes, Tobias.
No.
Now, when we're talking bacon, Kane, we're talking streaky bacon. I don't know if your bacon is the same as like British bacon, which is actually ham.
We have a range of types, including streaky bacon.
Right. And Canadian bacon is kind of a amalgamation of streaky bacon and ham. It's still very, very good though. It's close enough to, but yeah. Yes, Dan, evil stuff, that turkey bacon. Correct.
Okay, are we ready for the bulb dome?
Sure, let's do that.
Bring it on.
because Kane tweeted about it, so we have to do this.
Now, in the
So,
Bald&Balding, Kane, I picked up on something here. Your lawyer training is overriding all of your answers. Because
I kind of chuck that to the furthest corner. That's a Monday to Friday kind of. We're in like the fantasy brain, the artistic brain. We're in the like.
yeah, but you give lawyer answers. You hedge your bets. You're very
Okay.
careful with the exception of Christmas. You came out with Christmas like a champ. I mean, you just laid that out there. But in the Bald Dome, that kind of wiffle waffling will get you killed.
Understood.
Especially
Right. I also take your feedback on board from the last one or two episodes about people being a little bit cautious and wanting to chat to all the animals and wanting to like we're going hell for leather here. We're really doing it.
So chatting with the animals is fine. It really is. I mean, the first time came up because Mike was in control of the dice and they were just whiffing on each other the entire time, and they just got tired and said, screw it.
And had a tea party.
I have a die. So
okay. So what character are you putting forward, Kane? Are you putting Antana forward? I thought so.
No. So Antana is not going forward. I feel like she would give. She's a little bit cautious. I want to throw the most reckless character I have here, Xanth, also the most powerful. Xanth, my mage. We're throwing him into the mix here. Bring it on.
What makes him so uncautious?
He doesn't feel like he has much to live for other than revenge.
Okay.
So you become an author and then kill his foes, in the page.
Why is he like that?
He lost a lot that he held dear, and so when you first meet him, he is starting off on the warpath, and he's like that pretty much all book, where he's got the thirst for vengeance, and he has to quell it a couple of times to do what his organization wishes for him to do, but he's pretty hell-bent on his revenge.
Okay, are we?
To me, like he could use an antidepressant.
I think if once he gets his bloodlust out the way, that he'll settle down. But that's a book long type quest.
Yeah, that would be that'd be kind of interesting. A mage with all that power in his hands, who is just a total freaking depressive. That could be stunning.
It could. I guess after I write that short story about kangaroo transportation, I've got some further material.
Or a depressed mage riding a kangaroo.
No, just a depressed mage, just being all Gen X on everybody, just totally laying waste to everything he comes across.
Okay. So we have Xanth, and he is being transported away. Does he need to use like spells or wands for his magic, or can he just do it naturally?
There's Madrilics that he stores within his body, which is effectively mana. So he needs, and it depends on whether or not he's just had a fight or the like, but he needs some degree of mana. And if we're rolling for that, you better roll me a 20.
No, we'll just to top him up.
Okay, we're topped him up.
Okay, I actually rolled a 16 there, so you wasted a good roll.
I'm hoping that if this is a trend, I'm hoping you're on a roll tonight, because I've seen you roll 5s and 7s and.
Oh yeah, well, I had 2 20s when Tori was here.
So. Yeah, that was weird.
So there's a drought coming for like the next 3 months. But anyway, Xanth has been transported to a haunted keep. Ivy-strangled battlements rise against the stormy sky, and the wind howls through broken windows. Ghostly figures pace the ramparts, and their faces twisted in agony as the bitter scent of old blood lingers in the air. Among the crumbling stones, rusted chests bound with spectral chains pulse with dark light, watched over by shadowy ravens whose feathers glimmer like obsidian.
Good God, man. Any more adjectives?
It's ChatGPT. It likes its
And if
adjectives.
there's so much wind, how is the smell of blood lingering in the air?
But it's ChatGPT. Okay.
There must be a lot of blood. Like all the wind is the battlefield, wind down okay.
Okay.
So we've got a haunted keep, we've got ravens perched.
And we got treasure chest bound with spectral chains.
Okay.
And faceless ghosts walking the ramparts.
Love it. Okay.
Okay, so you have, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
So you have a blue fizzy potion.
Yes.
Of unknown ability. Now, do you want to face a common animal or do you want to face a fantasy creature?
Give me a fantasy creature.
Okay. Instead of getting 3 tallow candles, you will get a longsword. So that's a good trade.
It is. Although that's not great with a weapon, but longsword, I'll take it.
And then instead of facing a pack of gray wolves, you will now face a horde of savage orcs.
A horde
Wow.
of savage orcs.
I'm going to say 16. Or do you want me to roll for it? Because then there'll be 1.
That's fine. 16 is fine.
So there are 16 orcs who are trying to pry open one of the chests with the spectral chains on it. Xanth is just walking around, kind of depressed, with his new blue.
That is not depressed. Well, a little bit, but he's
You tell us how he's walking around then.
So he has his blue.
I think he's probably looking for something. I reckon he's looking for something to use to get his revenge. So he hates Arik. That's his nemesis. And so I reckon he's looking for something. I don't think you'd be in a place like this. It's just, it's not a campsite, right? You're not there for fun. So I reckon he's there searching for, an ultimate weapon or a spell, or he's there searching for answers. So that's what he's doing there. Maybe orcs are after the same item that he is.
And I may have overspoke Mike here. You do have a potion with you that you don't know what it does.
Yep.
But it is 100% effective, right?
Yep.
Correct. 100% effective. And Ro, are you taking the potion?
No, I thought you had new stuff.
No, I rolled. I just didn't know if you were, when you said you had your die, I didn't know if that meant you're taking back the potion.
No, I was just, in case you start rolling like you normally do again.
You can save the day. I got it. Okay, so Xanth is pretty sure that what he needs is in the treasure chest that the orcs are trying and failing to open.
Yeah.
So he is watching them from about 20 feet away.
Yeah.
And then the crows that are there start calling and draw attention to him. When the orcs look over at why are the crows making all this noise, and lo and behold, they see Xanth with his blue fizzy potion and longsword. What happens next?
What happens next? Okay, so Xanth is not one for messing about, and he's not going to treat a pack of orcs lightly. He's not going to let them, I'm not sure what they're armed with, but probably an array of weapons. Orcs generally, there'll be a couple of, whether or not it's crossbows or bows and arrows, there'll be a bunch of axes, maybe even like some of the weapons on your wall, Mike. So the Xanth is not going to let them get the first shot off. We're gonna roll for a fireball. He's gonna attack.
You're gonna lead with a fireball.
I heard you before. I heard you before about messing around.
Outstanding.
That's not messing around. We're fighting fantasy creatures, and we're going with a fireball straight up to that.
So Ro, am I rolling or are you?
I want to see what happens when you roll a 1.
Do not dare roll a 1.
20.
Oh.
20. So wow. This has been a great. Thank you for this. I'm guessing all the orcs are dead now.
Well, I mean, were they all like grouped together?
I don't know. You're the expert on orcs.
How am I the expert on orcs?
You've played D&D before.
Well, no. I rolled more than there are. There's got to be now. There's 3 left.
Okay, 3 left.
Let's see what happens next after you just burnt the shit out of everything.
So we just killed 13 orcs. There's 3 left.
Yep.
I think it's the orcs' turn, right? Are they gonna charge at Xanth, or are they gonna run?
Um,
Do we need to roll for that?
I think to make it interesting,
yeah, they're going to charge.
Yeah, they
They're gonna
charge.
They're angry. Got it.
Yeah.
Am I rolling, Ro?
Yeah. Be on this.
14.
Ooh.
Rolling good today.
You get to roll for each of them.
Oh, 14, 18, and 11.
One of them hits you. Unless you have some wicked defensive stuff going on. Well, I guess they're just running towards you, right? So
Yeah.
none of them tripped. But one of them is definitely in the lead for next turn.
With a meat cleaver.
Okay. Oh, wait. We've got a meat cleaver. What else have we got?
We have a rusty dagger, and we have a rusty short sword.
Why do
Okay.
you have rusty stuff? Why can't they have nice things?
Because they're orcs.
They need to take better care of their weapons. That's what they need to do.
If they had better weapons, they would have opened up the treasure chest by now. So
Okay, so we've got 3 short distance weapons, and they've just rolled pretty good, other than the 11, which is just a decent one. So they're closing in, or they're very close.
They're very close. They're screaming their battle cry. The meat cleaver one is in the lead with his meat cleaver up, ready to split your head in 2, or Xanth's head in 2. What does Xanth do now?
So I'm torn. The more interesting path is where we take the potion. The problem is that if the potion is like anti-fire, or it creates some kind of whatever it is, I can see Xanth getting a meat cleaver to the head. And so Xanth is probably either going to, my initial instincts are, he's going to attack again, or he can use he's probably going to try and create some distance and fly. And so we'll go with that. Give him a roll for him being able to create a little bit of distance so that he can burn them to hell next time.
Okay, 9.
9.
Now we're back to normal.
So he's 9, bro. He's a bit airborne, and he's a little bit away, but it didn't quite work out. Or where's Xanth?
Your orc rolled a 9?
No, Xanth rolled a 9 to try and get some fly up.
To fly away, he rolled a 9.
Not fully away, more just up, so that he can like attack them in a second, so that he doesn't get a meat cleaver to the head.
I would say you went up, but maybe only like a foot.
Oh, a foot.
I mean, it's a 9. You're lucky it happened at all.
Okay. Xanth's in some real trouble then. I thought he was doing quite well killing 13, but thanks, Mike. That roll is.
There you go. Back to normal.
So, Orc's turn, is it? Xanth's up 1 foot in the air. We've got 3
I think
orcs at
that
it.
first one would go flying at you, trying to chop the leg.
So the first one, an 11.
Really close, maybe clips your shoe.
Okay.
The second one, a 1.
Falls down while he's running, impales himself.
Impales himself. I love it.
And the third one, a 5.
Trips over the first one, but gets back up.
Oh yes. Okay, so we've got one orc who's impaled himself on his short sword. The other one's fallen over him, and we've taken a bit of Xanth's shoe off. Mike, your rolling has
directly below you.
Like roll like this for the orcs, and then I'll have my 16s for Xanth.
Kane, he has to do something here because the orc that's right below you.
Yes.
You know what he's going to do to you next, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Xanth has a longsword, and he's only a foot in the air. I know he loves spells, but let's keep it interesting. He's going to take a big swing at the orc right in front of him.
Okay, I'm rolling my lucky die that's been giving you all the high numbers.
And you say he's not good with swords?
He's not great with swords.
Yeah.
He's a
14.
mage.
And 11.
Yeah, you missed. I mean, he is below you. It's an odd angle. You're not good with swords.
Does it make the orc at least duck and be off balance, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So now the off balance orc with his meat cleaver is staring up even higher at you because you're a foot off the ground and they're short anyway. So it's orc's turn.
Yep.
Assuming he's going to swing. We'll go to the orc dice here.
He's off balance.
Ooh. 19.
Oh, Zan's lost a leg, has he?
No. Roll of 11 or better, Mike.
18.
Yeah, you parried the hell out of that because your sword was already down there, right? So you can parry that.
Oh, yes, I love it.
Okay. So now it is Xanth
Hey,
again.
Magic Man, what are you going to do?
Xanth has realized it was arrogance and stupidity to attack with a sword when he's a mage, and I don't even know why he carried this sword around. And so we're gonna freeze the guy to death. I mean, you guys had a frost giant on. I'm inspired. We're gonna freeze the guy to death. And what do we need? 12,
Is this
13,
like
14?
a single target thing?
It's like an ice ray. Yeah.
Okay, because the other one's still there too.
Yeah, he's tripping up and getting over his impaled Conrad. I'm not too worried about him.
Okay. 6.
Oh, God, Zan's having a bad day. Can't hit the guy. He can burn 13 orcs, but he can't kill one with an ice ray.
Yeah. So if you saw it with Michael Roberti, after his character and the Basilisk both missed twice, they just decided to sit down and have a tea party. So
Zan's
that's
not having tea with orcs. I'm just putting it out there. Zan is not having tea with orcs.
Mike, give me a roll. Anything lower than a 12 and the orc backs away.
16.
Okay. Swing away, I guess.
The orc swings.
Yeah.
Okay. 8.
Oh.
He slipped on some of the ice, I guess, that you shot last
yeah.
time. And the other dude slipped too, so you live to fight another day or not.
Well, let's finish these two orcs off, hey? Zan's turn.
Okay. So what is Xanth going to do now? Or attempt to do?
I mean, he's going. The ice is clearly not working for him. He's going back to the fireball. Surely he can take out two remaining orcs. He's burned 13.
I would say probably not. It's a 6.
Oh.
Let's see. Give me a 15 or better, Mike.
7.
We could be all here all night. You guys could be there all night, Ro, if you're asking for a 15.
Okay, I know. Well, the orc you were shooting at, you didn't hit him, but you did hit the other guy by accident, and you kind of singed yourself as well.
Oh, okay. That does happen. That does happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the meat cleaver orc, is he the last one standing?
Yes. He's doing a really good job surviving.
12.
Not doing a damn thing hitting this floating guy, but all right, Kane, one last chance, man.
Okay.
You came into this with such promise.
I did. I want to. The orc doesn't seem like much of a threat anymore. I want to take the potion.
Okay.
Oh.
He can't hit anything. His magic's useless. His sword isn't doing much. Let's take the potion. Hope it lets him breathe fire and let's wipe the orc out.
We've never had a potion to breathe fire.
It's the Mistweaver essence, so it allows the drinker to transform into mist for up to 10 minutes. So Xanth is now Mist Cloud.
Okay, so the orcs. If the orc couldn't hit like a full-on guy floating a foot away, he's not going to be able to hit mist. I don't know. I don't know if the mist is going to be able to choke him to death, though. Mist is very insubstantial.
but-
It's just a defensive spell. Okay.
So, Ro, can he cast magic as a mist cloud?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
So basically, you have disappeared as far as the orc can tell because it's not the brightest thing.
Yeah.
And you're a floating mist cloud now. What do you choose to do? Do you wait the 10 minutes and attack again, or do you call it a day?
we've got a really kind of haunted setting.
Yeah.
I want to use that mist to like swirl around the orc. I want to like intimidate the hell out of the orc so that it runs away. I mean, it's lost all its buddies. It's it's not going to be able to open it if it can't hit me from a couple of foot away. It's not going to be able to open this chest with its meat cleaver. So we're intimidating the orc.
Mike, if you roll an 8 or better, the orc runs away.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not counting on it.
Oh, God.
a 1. A 1. The orc's
rolled one?
inspired by the mist.
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1.
I honestly rolled a 1.
8 or better, man. An 8. And you rolled a 1. Okay, not only does he not run away, he's sussed out what it is that's happening, and he's going to wait you out.
Ooh. Okay.
Not the smartest orc.
He is the smartest orc, as a matter of fact.
Oh, Zach just rolled a 1.
Okay, so 10 minutes goes by. And Xanth has reappeared. Has he moved anywhere? Is the orc chasing the mist cloud? What?
Yeah, what have you decided? You just going to stay right there with him?
I'm going to stay close where the treasure is. And I mean, the orc, I suspect, is going to follow me around because he's sussed it out.
Yep.
And I don't want to move too close to the ghosts and whatever else is haunting it. So yeah, Xanth is sticking around, and he's going to do like a Darth Vader choke with his magic on the orc. We're gonna choke the life out of the orc. If we couldn't do it as a mist, we're now going to do it with magic.
Is that something he's done before?
It's similar to, I don't have a Darth Vader choke in the book, but he has magic along those type of lines.
Okay.
13 or better, Mike.
I'm using a fresh die here. Okay.
Oh, that'll help.
It could be the roller, not the dice, but we'll blame the dice.
19.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It ends. Yay. Ooh.
All right. So now what?
So he chokes the orc. Does he then now proceed to the chest to get his treasure?
Absolutely.
You are the first person who's actually ever done that. Nobody else. Mike always says, "Oh yeah, there's this pile of whatever." Nobody ever does anything with that. So,
Zan's here for the treasure.
yeah, we're going to need another camera, Dan. You're right. We're going to need another camera on Mike's rolls. A dice cam.
Oh, I like it. Nice cam.
Mike dice cam.
Well, we can rig something up.
All right, Kane, show us your cover again, or scooch to the side, or
For both.
Right.
put it right up to the camera.
Perils of the Past. It is out now. It's been out for either 1 or 2 days, depending on where in the world you live.
Okay.
And it is a standalone. And the next book coming up is completely different world, different characters, everything's different. Okay.
What if we really like this one? Are we going to get another one?
Potentially. Yeah. If there's yeah.
And I have to say, I absolutely love that cave behind it with like the teeth icicle. Yeah. Love that.
I'll give a shout out to the artist, Anderson from Design Unlikely. He's done not only the cover, but let me see if I can do this. There's internals in it as well.
Oh, wow. Man.
Oh, that's very cool.
So that is also from chapter 1. You can see the teeth of the cave.
Yep.
Yep.
And she's fighting a shadow form in the cave in chapter 1. And so yeah, there's a couple of internals. Anderson has illustrated the chapter headings and the scene breaks. Chapter 1.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So yes, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, you're right, Tobias. It is. All right, everybody. Before we let you go for the evening, Mike and I will be on Tim McKay's all caps book chat. So there'll be 4 of us talking. We don't even know. We didn't get an agenda. That will be Monday at 8 p.m. And then Mike and I will be back on the 28th, which is what, Wednesday?
I believe so.
Yeah, Wednesday at 7 with Dave Lawson. So check that out. As always, like and subscribe, etc., etc. Kane, thank you very much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday morning.
Cheers, guys.
As you head into stay warm.
Yeah.
I'd say don't get eaten by anything, but apparently it's not as bad as we've been led to believe.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, it's now time to wave awkwardly
Thanks, everybody.
for longer than you expect.